Introducing Instagram Teen Accounts, a new way to keep your teens safer as they grow, like making sure they've got the right gear for riding.
Knee pads.
Check.
And helmet?
Done. See you, Dad.
New Instagram Teen Accounts, automatic protections for who can contact your teen and the content they can see.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores brings you Garage Logic podcast number 1107. Last day of June already, June 30th, 2023. 100 degrees on this day in 1931. And 47 degrees on this day in 1892. You got a big week of swimming coming up, starting at this, well, it's been swimming season now for a couple of weeks. I hope you've contacted Aquaside. They've been keeping beaches free of weeds and crud for more than 60 years with a great line of lake and pond control products. They're made right there in White Bear Lake. They're safe. They work quickly. They're easy to use. They've been vetted with all the proper environmental authorities, so they're safe for you and your family and the fish. Here's what you do. You get on there with your cell phone, you stare at the swimming hole, and you tell Aquaside what you're looking at. They'll help you identify your problem. Make sure you get the right products. You'll be great all summer long. Call 1-800-328-9350 or go to aquaside.com.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Haidt in the newsroom, and of course, the Rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Soucheray.
I have a ruling request.
Right out of the chute, huh?
Well, this is a fellow, Jim, in Hudson, Wisconsin, who thinks he has a spin on the 48-hour rule.
Ooh. You don't say.
Well, he said, I'm getting married again. Again, I think, is a key word there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Third time's the charm, right? Next fall, he's getting married.
Oh.
Do I have any sort of grace period after the wedding day to purchase, say, a new power tool, more cylinders, or perhaps another gun from DK Mags that I could claim and then say, oh, that I had that before we were married. Thanks in advance.
How dost thou rule?
I have a problem with this. I have a problem with this. First of all, why would you wait to enact a grace period after you get married? Buy all that stuff now.
Right.
There you go.
Right.
Yep.
Just buy it all now, and you avoid the 50-50-90 rule, you avoid the 48-hour rule, and you avoid the 3 prices you pay rule.
Mm-hmm.
So get everything now.
Problem solved.
And then there is no ruling required. The soon-to-be the new missus has no ground to stand on following the wedding. She walked into what you already own. Bing, bang, boom, I've just settled it. Everything you want, get now.
And if she's the type that walked around the garage already to kind of take mental inventory or visual inventory, then you got to run.
Well, if she's a GLer, she knows about the 3 rules. So I would say, I think I've solved it. Just get what you need now. Would you agree with me? Kenny's running a little tardy. He'll be here. Yep. John's here. Rook's here. Reavers is doing some secret government work. Mm-hmm. Would you agree with me that the heat and the dryness have been sold to us with some sort of climate change hysteria?
100%.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
In fact, we're now reading, or we're to be terribly concerned that this June is the second driest in history. Let me see. Here it is. The second driest on record in the Twin Cities. Mm-hmm. All right? And today's the last day of June. This is a WCCO piece. the meteorologists on the local news channels have been selling this quite hard, and so we're in the second driest June in history, and this is offered as an example, however subliminally, of climate disaster. This is just disaster. How can they avoid? Now, the story mentions it. The story mentions the top 10 record driest Junes on record around these parts. But when you watch the nightly news, none of this is put in context.
Right.
No one ever says, well, this has happened before, and we need some rain. We'll probably get some rain. But 7 of the top 10 driest Junes are on or before 1973.
7 of the top 10
are on or 73 was 1.06, and then there's 6 others older than that.
Okay.
Well, there's no way to make any hay out of what's happening right now.
Right.
Number 1 on the record is 1988.
That was a drought.
0.22 inches of rain in June. And then this year, 2023, 0.93. But third place is 1912 with 0.94. So the same summer, the same June for dryness happened in 1912.
Go figure.
Followed by 1903, 1.02 inches, 1973, 1.06, 2022, 1.13, 1894, 1.15, 1910, 1.19, 1950, 1.26, and 1970, 1.27. Now, people will say that doesn't mean anything. The hell it doesn't. It means a great deal to me. I've been alive for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've been alive for 6 of the top 10 driest Junes on record. Okay. It has had no impact on my life. Now, it might have had an impact on a farmer's life.
Well, I'm sure, yes.
What point am I trying to make?
That nature...
I lost sight of what point I'm trying to make.
That nature's going to do whatever it's going to do.
It's completely random.
Right.
Very random. Yeah.
You had just as much of a chance to have a dry June in 1894 as you do today.
Mm-hmm.
So quit telling me nightly that, boy, are we dry. We're having the 90s. We're dry. It's all happened before.
The other problem is you can't read a story in the paper without that being referenced. I noticed today, and I think it was on page 3 or 4, when it was talking about the wildfires and just things in general. Every story in the last 3 or 4 paragraphs has...
That's how dry it is?
Yeah, well, climate change.
Oh,
it
yeah.
says, climate change is obviously involved. Well, no, it's not.
You saps, you're falling into a trap because you got to... What they haven't learned yet, the reporters and what have... This has nothing. The push for that hysteria has nothing to do with the climate. Nothing. Mm-hmm. You're a pawn in their plan to have the 15-minute city and everybody not have a car. We can keep an eye on you much easier that way. And whatever. Hell with it. Pretty damn close to
Armageddon.
We're at. No, 0.93. No, I'm sorry, 0.94. What's the 4? That wouldn't be a tenth.
That's 100th.
Yeah.
We're 100th of an inch different than 20. Right now, we're a 100th.
Huh?
Yeah. We're 100th of an inch drier than 1912.
There you go.
Okay.
BFD.
That's not, it's happened before. Don't you wish you could shout that at the TV?
It's so dry.
How dry is it?
NPR has a story on squirrels splooting.
Splooting?
Splooting. S-P-L-O-O-T. Splooting.
That sounds kind of dirty.
You've never heard of...
Oh, whoa.
Have you heard of squirrels splooting?
I don't even know what that is. I think it might be naughty, though, huh?
It's not.
Oh.
Splooting is a behavior some animals use to cool their body temperature. So I bet squirrels were splooting in 1912.
Well, it was so dang hot.
I bet squirrels splooted the hell out of the 1930s.
What do they do?
Splooting is a behavior some animals use to cool their body temperature. Squirrels are finding cool surfaces and lying on their stomachs with their legs spread to cool off. And apparently we've invented a new name for that. That's called splooting. Think of it like finding the cool side of the pillow when you're trying to fall asleep. Sonny Carraro of the New York City Department of Parks and Rec says it's about transferring the heat away from their bodies. They're trying to find a cool space. And if they can put as much of their core body onto a cool space, then the heat is going to transfer from their bodies to the other surface. So in the case of squirrels, you'll often see them maybe on a shady sidewalk or a park path or in the grass just splayed out. They're splooted.
What? Why do we have to invent? Yeah, we don't
I don't think I've seen splooting.
No, I don't think I have
just seen
either.
squirrels sitting around. That's all they're doing.
And as much as the heat is affecting humans, wildlife are uncomfortable with the heat. When humans are hot, sweating cools us down, but animals that can't sweat have to resort to other behaviors. Dogs pant, birds dunk in water, and squirrels sploot. Honest to God in heaven.
I bet Sonny's fun at a party, huh?
Yeah.
I
invented another name.
Splooting squirrels are popping up all over social media. And while it might seem goofy and cute, splooting can be a sign that squirrels are experiencing temps much higher than what they're used to. Climate change is making things worse. Now, the reporter just puts that in there. Kai McNamee, NPR, June 29th, yesterday's story. Kai, K-A-I, Kai McNamee. Kai, what's wrong with you? Climate change. Here's my list. Then there had to be a lot of splooting in 1894.
Mm-hmm. They just didn't invent a name for it back then.
We just didn't know what to call it, and we didn't have social media.
What are you doing? Splooting.
Because all the people who've lost sight of nature, they see a splooted squirrel, and they think, what the hell's wrong with that squirrel? So they take a picture of it. The next thing you know, we got to call it something. What's that squirrel doing? He's splaying. That splaying doesn't sound right. He's splooting, because sploot would get in the cool. Get it? Splaying and cool? Splooting?
Okay. Yep.
Splooting.
Made up.
And then we talk about animal physiologist Andrea Rummel, an incoming assistant professor of biosciences at Rice University, says splooting is likely enough to keep squirrels cool for now. But it might not be if temperatures continue to rise.
Oh, dun, dun, dun.
Right. Even a blind splooting squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
That's the story. We have splooting now. And I'm going to keep a sharp eye out for it, to tell you the truth. I installed the revolving bird feeder that the birds rarely take advantage of, not to mention not one squirrel has grabbed on there and flown off, much to my disappointment. But I'm going to be looking now for the splooting.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to go home and I'm going to
set up a lawn chair.
I'm going to just take my time and find some splooting. There's got to be some splooting taking
All
place.
I see squirrels doing is chasing each other around. I rarely see them sitting.
They have a lot of fun. You know, animals can have fun. Crows really have fun.
What do you mean by...
Crows can take like the top of a...
What's up?
What's the product I'm thinking of? what are those round potato chips called?
Pringles.
They could take a Pringles cap and they use it as a sled to go down rooftops. Did you know that?
Really? I've
seen videos of it, yeah.
No.
Crows are brilliant. They're playful. They love to screw around. Squirrels have fun. Birds have fun. Animals have fun.
This isn't, you're not on the air, right? This isn't the show.
Yeah,
This is the show.
Oh, Jesus.
I've seen video of a crow with a Pringles cap taking the cap to the top of a roof and sliding down and taking it in its beak and going back up to do it again.
I'm 15 minutes late, and you're talking about splooting.
Splooting.
Is that what you were doing?
Kenny, have you ever heard the term?
It really works. I was just doing it.
He was splooting.
I've seen them. They used to do it in my. They used to do it in my yard in South Minneapolis. I've actually seen it happen.
You've seen splooting.
And I thought it was a weird sexual thing. You ever seen when a dog drags its butt across the yard of the carpet?
Yeah.
I thought it was one of those deals.
No, it's not one of those deals.
Like they're maybe teenagers,
No.
dry humping.
Do teenagers sploot?
Well,
Depends if you got a pool or not.
Right.
All right.
I can't believe I was in such a hurry to get here, and this is what you're talking
You're the
about.
only person of us four that's ever heard of splooting, apparently, Kenny. I never heard of it.
Oh, to be honest, I didn't know that there was a name for it.
Okay.
But I have
I
seen it happen.
I see.
I just thought it was squirrels being weird.
Okay. It's splooting. And the worst.
I wonder how they came upon that name.
Well, I think it's a combination of splaying and cooling. So it's splooting. That's my guess. That's my guess.
That works.
But Kenny, 7 of the top 10 driest Junes on record are on or before 1973, and yet we're hectored nightly and daily about the catastrophe of climate change bringing us a dry June.
Yeah.
Well, they never put 1910 in there, and whatever I had a list. You missed it. It's okay. It's okay.
I've heard it before.
Yeah.
No, go over the whole list again. By all means.
I don't think I'll go over the whole list again. Right now, I'm going to tell you about my friend Scott Mueller with MuellerMemorial.com. These are, it's a task in life to send loved ones off to the great beyond. And Mueller specializes in turning these ceremonies into a celebration of a life well lived. Once you find out what's involved, it's not nearly as frightening or fraught with anxiety as you might think it is. The Muellers have been in the mortuary and cremation business for more than 70 years. We're on the 3rd generation. I've grown up with them. I know them. And Scott Mueller, more than anyone I know, is who I would trust in these cases, and I have. When the need arises, we just automatically turn to MuellerMemorial.com because they've turned it into memorable experiences. In my mother's case, we had to have a bar that served old fashions.
Love that.
And there were smokers there, but they did have to go outside. You know. But it's not fun. But and he can't make it fun, but he can make it a celebration of a life well lived. There's no need to fear this. It's the task we go through as part of the cycle of life, and Mueller Memorial will take care of you. Go to Mueller, Mueller, M-U-E-L-L-E-R, MuellerMemorial.com.
Since 1985, Air Mechanical has served the Twin Cities for their heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. They can also help you with drain cleaning, duct cleaning, and indoor air quality, serving the entire metro area. From general maintenance to full install, they got you. Furnace installs, boilers, heat pumps, garage heaters, and more, Air Mechanical employs top-trained tradespeople in the state of Minnesota. They operate with full integrity. They do things the right way, not the easy way. And their Total Solutions membership is like having Air Mechanical on retainer. Keep all of your home maintenance needs in one comprehensive membership. Select one tune-up a year and enjoy benefits like discounted maintenance, repairs, service, and equipment costs. Catch problems before they arise and keep your home's mechanicals running smoothly. We'd love it if you gave Air Mechanical a shout-out for any heating, cooling, plumbing, or electrical needs. Call or book online at thinkami.com. That's thinkami.com.
Here's a man who spends hours in hardware stores, sifting through the nuts and bolts of life. Joe Souchere.
You need 10% off your next or your first Liberty Safe. It's a two-step process. First, click on the maplegrovelockandsafe.com. That's where you can link up with the Liberty website and the Liberty online showroom and everything you can order there. Online orders only 10% off. But the real advantage would be if you just stop into the shop, 6901 East Fish Lake Road, meet and greet the owner, Rich, owner-proprietor. And he's a good guy, a GLer, a good guy. And he can explain to you the in-store progressive sale that they have going. It's one of those deals where you spend some, you make, you get money off, like spend $1,900 or $1,099. Why can't we just say $1,100?
Yeah.
Hell of a lot easier. Spend $1,100, save $100, and then the savings go up from there all the way up to, if you spend $8,000 or more, you save $700. That's a pretty good deal, and especially considering it's the Liberty Safe, the best safe they made. They make right here in the United States, transferable lifetime warranties. And when you talk to Rich and you do the deal and you shake the hand, you write the check, make sure you get delivery and setup from Rich. Again, at Liberty Safe, the best safe ever made. You'll find it at Maple Grove Lock and Safe.
Let me preface what I'm about to say by saying I bet that kids of color will still be able to get in college. And the irony is, I don't know why you would want to. The academy has failed miserably. And unless you're pursuing some specific discipline, as I've said many times, I think kids could do better looking elsewhere. In any event, it probably is no surprise that I think that the Supreme Court ruling on affirmative action is marvelous. I want to read something from John Roberts. Eliminating racial discrimination means eliminating all of it. I'll stop right there. He's saying something very GL-like. Eliminating, you can't pick and choose which racial discrimination you don't want to eliminate.
Right.
You know, in other words, it shouldn't exist. Obviously it does, but it shouldn't. The student must be treated based on his or her experience as an individual, not on the basis of race. Many universities have for too long done just the opposite. What's he saying there? You've all attended the University of Garage Logic for years. Let me repeat it. What is he saying? Eliminating racial discrimination means eliminating all of it. The student must be treated based on his or her experiences as an individual, not on the basis of race. Many universities have for too long done just the opposite. What's he really saying?
We're all equal.
Yes, he's saying that. Quit treating these kids as less than.
Mm-hmm.
The left has been treating kids as less than for 50 years. What good has it done? Would somebody please explain to me how we're better off as a society? The Mysterians have been treating these kids as less than. Black parents, Asian parents, Hmong parents should have revolted a long time ago and said, quit doing my kid a favor.
So why do they fall for it? That's my question.
It's a great question.
Why don't they, our gal in Roseville,
Coffee.
Coffee, what's her name? Matska. She doesn't fall for it, and she's very vocal about it. But it seems like she's the rare one. The Reverend Christopher doesn't fall for it.
You almost have to think, has this come along too late?
Yeah.
This horse left the barn 50 years ago. And the whole paradigm has been created by which black kids believe they should be admitted to universities. Not all black kids, but generally speaking, the template has arisen that black kids will get into universities because they're black. Why not? You're admitted to a university because you're a sharp kid. But is it too late? Is that, in other words, the kids of color have been sold a bill of goods for so long that can they recover their sense of individuality? Obama, for example, has been no help in this regard. Obama is a force of nature who would continue to believe that affirmative action is the way to go, when it should not have ever happened in the first place, but it did happen because the country was so damn screwed up.
Okay. Oh, you just answered what I was about to throw at you. Yeah, it happened because, in fact, no matter how smart that black kid was, he wasn't getting in. He or she, just because they were black.
That's right. That's the elephant in the room.
That's why it came about.
Okay. Has it come about too late?
Or has it lingered too late?
Can you just snap your fingers and tomorrow, okay, you, Mr. Jefferson, you're going to apply to the University of Minnesota. You're getting in only on merit. And he might say, what do you mean by that? Well, it means you got to do homework. You got to do your term papers. We can no longer treat you less than. Is it too late?
Well, if it's George Jefferson you're talking about, he's going to buy that college.
It's too late, yeah.
He's going to give the boot to all the crackers and honkies in there. That's a good question, Joe.
Because there is not a doubt in my mind, and smarter people than me, like Roberts, knows this. The left has done black people no favors.
Oh, they've done them harm.
The family's destroyed, the entitlements destroyed, the dependency's been destroyed, individuality is wiped out. Black people should be terribly resentful that they're identified only as a political class, not as individuals. Now, is it too late? To me, that's the problem.
What would determine it's too late? That we can't reverse this process?
Well, the failed academy will fight back. The president of the United States has already poo-pooed this ruling. The likes of Obama have poo-pooed the ruling. They don't want to let go. The left does not want to let go of its...
They make good money off of it.
Its...
grasp.
Yes. Who's talking? Somebody.
Well, they're coming at it from the angle that it's racist to let this go.
Yeah, it's not.
Right. I know. They don't see that. And why? Do they really see that? Or do they really not see that? What are their motives? That's what my concern is.
Well, how can you argue with someone that goes to high school, a public high school, starts taking college credits? I'm talking about a young black kid that gets it, that understands the world is your oyster. All you have to do is work hard.
Well, we know that, but here's the problem why it might be too late. The likes of Obama and the likes of Biden and the likes of the activists, I think they're going to be successful in claiming that this ruling is in and of itself racist.
Right, because I think we're going to go way, way, way back in time.
Because they've sold this for too long.
Right, and now black kids aren't going to be able to get into college simply because they're black. Well, no, it's all based, they don't see that it's based on grades and smarts.
The work that it will take to get that idea across, stop treating children of color as less than. The work that will take is gargantuan.
Here's the deal, though. This isn't we can fight for this all we want, Joe, but let's face it, this has got to come from African Americans.
Yes.
It's got to come from black Americans. It has to.
And the failed academy will be no help.
Because when we talk about this like this, we're coming off to them as racist asshats. That's what they're hearing.
I agree. And the minute I began reading about the decision and thinking about it, I thought, I just wonder if it's too late. Oof. The whole country has been sold by the progressive notion that black people are innately victims, and we've never given them a chance not to be. I think it's too late. I guess I'm reaching.
You're making a ruling?
I guess I'm reaching the conclusion that I think, short of miracles, I just think this is too late. I don't know what the hell to do. Because Roberts is saying the right thing. We got to quit treating people as less than. They're equal under the law. But the children, the country has such a checkered past in this regard that it's really, really tough to bring it about. Jeez, Louise.
Come on.
I don't know.
Is it too late? Because, there was 100 years of where they actually were victims.
Right.
And we've started turning that around in 40 or 50 years, maybe.
I would say I'm using 1973.
It's
about the third driest month on record.
That's a good random year. I'd go with that.
Well, post New Deal, not New Deal, post Johnson's Great Society, and I would say the black family began to disintegrate 50 years ago. And the black families were a role model for all families in America until they began to disintegrate. They were the greatest tight-knit families in America.
Without a doubt. So what were you going to say, John? What was your point?
Well, no, I'm just saying, Joe says it's too late to turn things around. If it took 100 if you use 73, it took more than 100 then. I guess it took 200 and some years to unravel everything. Can we ravel things back together in 50 years? Probably not.
Probably not.
But it might take a lot longer.
Too late to turn back now.
I believe.
But it seems like we've taken a giant leap backwards in the last 3 to 5 years. Critical race theory.
I think
BLM.
I do too. Go ahead.
It's you would think on the surface that BLM would be a really, really, really good thing. Turns out it's not what it says it is.
Well, that's up for argument apparently too, according to the Reverend Christopher. Here he says it works wonderfully.
We did have that debate with him on the national level and on the local level. And as far as boots on the ground, I think he's right. It's working good. But on the national level, we found it's maybe a little corrupt. Yeah.
I'll go down in history as always being just terribly disappointed in Obama. We had a black American president for 8 years, and we've been going downhill since. I think he didn't. I think he squandered. Well, I'll use this analogy. He did the same thing. Remember my story about Melvin Carter should have taken the misbehaving teenager at the phone store?
Yeah.
And gone to said to the gal, let's go. I want to talk to your parents. Stood on the porch and had a press conference and say to the parents, I'm terribly disappointed in your daughter. You can do much better than this, and so can she. And please take care of this matter. Instead, what did he do? He blamed the police. Well, on a much larger scale, so he squandered his soapbox there. He squandered a chance to be every man, regardless of the color of your skin. And to me, Obama never failed a chance to never failed an opportunity to squander his chance. Never failed an opportunity. Starting with the cop in Boston who had to be brought to the White House for the humiliating beer session, Obama.
Right. I remember that.
Obama, just a great disappointment when he could have said so many different things. He could have taken the opposite view of virtually everything he came down on. And now the hypocrite has got one of 3 multi-million-dollar mansions, and he's continuing to lecture us about inequality and equity and all this other BS and climate, and just a disappointment to me. I guess that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying, I'm afraid it's too late for this ruling.
Wow.
I think we'll see nothing but problems resulting from this ruling. We'll see lawsuits. We'll see protests. We'll see campus unrest. All of it unnecessary, but probably understandable. I'm thrilled with the Supreme Court ruling on The woman didn't have to prepare a website for a gay couple if she didn't want to. Now, it's one thing to say gays don't deserve websites. That's not what the court ruled. The court just ruled you don't have to do it if you don't want to. They just ruled that a Christian doesn't have to work on Sundays as a mailman. Trans rights are coming up today. I don't know what that one's about.
I have a question about Obama, Joe.
Yeah.
Did he have, for lack of a better term, a privileged upbringing?
Absolutely.
Because I'm looking at his education.
So did his wife.
I was wondering about his education. Post-high school, Occidental College, 79 to 81. Columbia College, 81 to 83. Harvard, 88 to 91. And I'm just wondering...
When he passed, I mean, I think he's a bright guy.
My question is, he didn't have to fight and scrap and work 18 jobs to get into college and then to live through college and pay for college. That's my question. So I'm wondering...
But he might have been a subject of affirmative action.
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah. I'd also, and I don't mean to throw...
I saw John instantly go to his keyboard, for which I'm grateful.
I don't mean to throw the curveball at you, but I'm wondering about Alan Page. Politically, is he a lefty?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so.
And was his upbringing privileged?
I don't know that it was privileged. I'm sure he had the full ride to Notre Dame, but I think Alan, with justification, can look back and possibly view himself as chattel.
Because I'm really wondering what his opinion is on this.
Oh, I'm sure he's very disappointed.
The thing that has always surprised me about Alan Page is not that he's a black guy and he made a success out of his life. It's that he was in the NFL and he made a success out of his life post-NFL. That's what, to me, was always shocking. And color had nothing to do with it.
Well, and I also think Alan was lucky, and if I hope I'm right, I think to this point in his life, and he's getting up there in age now, he obviously didn't suffer the serious brain injuries.
Right.
Yeah. A great inspiration to, everybody.
But he was a very proud guy, and with each passing year, he became prouder and more keen on the racial movement. I mean, he's a bit like Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron saved every foul letter that was ever written to him, which always saddened me.
Alan collects that stuff.
Alan, I don't know that he saved letters, but he collects the remnants of a racist America, colored only water fountain signs and things like that. And he, he has every right to. I mean, he's black, and he. But I'm sure he's terribly disappointed in this. Or at the very least, it'd be fun to talk to him, but I don't know if he wants to talk to me about this. He's always been very cool to the press.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he trusts anyone.
Well, that's I endorse that attitude.
Yeah.
Trust no one.
Yeah. Trust no one is right. I'm thrilled with the Supreme Court ruling, but I guess my conclusion is good luck to us all. I think it's too late.
Well, that's happy 4th of July, everybody.
Well, I wish I didn't think that way, but I mean, how are you going to overturn what has become 50 years of the belief that affirmative action was the right way to go? And it was all to increase. See, no one ever has accepted diversity as a fact. Once diversity got seized upon as a value, then you could make justification in arguing that its absence was discriminatory, because you are depriving yourself, in other words, of the value of diversity. So once that was established, it was hard to argue against diversity. Equity is the next key word. Everyone should be able to argue against equity, but it's getting harder and harder to argue against equity because people don't know what it means. They haven't taken the time to draw the word equity out to its ultimate conclusion, which means no one can be different. That's what equity means. No one can be different. Well, did Roberts say the word Yes. Eliminating racial discrimination means eliminating all of it. So in one broad brush there, John Roberts is unleashing a massive task on the country, just a massive task. The student must be treated based on his or her experience as an individual. Equity argues against individualism by its very meaning. Equity can't mean anything except you are the same as the guy next to you. No, I'm not. And neither is the guy next to me. But that's what equity is. So the equity movement is as strong as the diversity movement. Mm-hmm. And it's just, it was the wrong road to go down, and it's brought about the mystery.
I'm looking for a recent statement, and I'm not finding it from Kendall Qualls. I think I know what he would say. But I don't see that he's said anything publicly about this. Maybe I think he has a podcast now, doesn't he? He's probably said something on his podcast about it.
I wouldn't be surprised. Say, are you in on the town council takeover of so. Target Field? Yeah. Friday night, July 21st, the Twins hosting the White Sox. All town council members, you're eligible for 2 free tickets to the game, and we'll all be there. The staff will be there.
Hell yeah.
The tickets are on a first-come, first-served basis. They're going quickly. Rook, how do you get them?
Easy. Well, first of all, you need to be a town council member.
Got to be a town council member.
And you can sign up and get them right away if you want to.
If there's any left.
Well, if there's any left.
I'd hate to see a 6-month veteran of the town council lose out to a newbie.
Right. Well, it's just that easy. You go to garagelogic.com. If you're already a member, you reserve your 2 free tickets. If you are not a town council member, go to garagelogic.com, sign up for $10 a month or $100 a year. That's all it costs. And you'll get a $10 Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Store gift certificate.
Be more specific. You go to garagelogic.com, and then you do what?
You click on the Town Council Takeover of Target Field button.
All right.
And once you click on that button, it slides down, and you get all the information that you need.
Okay.
Super easy.
Because I'm getting emails from people that say, I can't find it on the website.
It's right. It'll hit you right.
There's a thing there.
Where do I sign up for the free grill?
Are you guys giving away a snowmobile again?
Yeah.
Are you still on the radio?
No, GLers, Town Council, go to the website and then find that tab button, whatever the hell those things are called, and then click on it, and that'll be your path to hopefully acquiring 2 tickets to the game. We're taking over Target Field. GL's taking it over. Friday night, July 21st.
It's going to be a blast.
Why don't we come back in a moment?
You know, in my house, when it gets hot like this, we go through a ton of water. Reavers here once again for my friends at Hofferman Water, an independent water treatment dealer. And I'm not kidding. I got 2 boys in travel baseball, all their buddies coming over to our house, coffee every morning. We go through so much of our water at home. And you know what? I'm so glad I made the switch with my brand new drinking water system, courtesy of Connecticut and Hofferman Water. And I'm going to tell you right now, I have been a customer of Hofferman and Connecticut for years, and I am so glad that I decided to make the switch. And I know that you will be too. So do me a favor. Give them a call today for that free water analysis. 952-894-4040. Here in Minnesota, we have some of the worst water known to man. But that can change if you visit my friends at Hofferman Water and HoffermanWater.com. 952-894-4040, or just go visit their website. See every available service that they have on their website, HoffermanWater.com. Hofferman Water has been proudly serving the state of Minnesota for over 50 years. Please do me a favor. When you get in touch with my friends at Hofferman Water, please tell them that you heard about them here on the Garage Logic Podcast.
Hi, kids. Joe Souchere here, the old fireworks commissioner. Kids, how's it going in school? Let me tell you something. Bottle rockets are to be fired vertically. I've seen a lot of you kids lighting them off horizontally and then scurrying for cover. That's not the way it works. Put them in a bottle, shoot them up in the air. That's a little tip from me, the old fireworks commissioner.
It's the end of the world as we know it, and he feels fine. Joe Souchere.
Can I, once again, be the dissenting voice?
Why not?
There is nothing more fun than a bottle rocket war among friends.
Oh, my God.
Get a bottle, a piece of PVC, pick out some hiding spots, and just start launching them at each other. When they rocket off a tree and come right back at you, that'll wake you up. That really, what it does is it improves your reaction time. It makes you a better human being.
The opinions of Kenny Olson in no way reflect the official position of Garage Logic.
DK Mag's greatest little gun shop in the Metro. They've been with us since the beginning of the GL podcast. They've been on Old 8 up in New Brighton since '99. Great staff, experienced, good selection, fair prices, both in-store and on the website, dkmags.com. They can help you find whatever firearm or accessory you've been looking for. It's also a safe and legal place to sell your unwanted firearms. Maybe it's just grandma's little purse gun or grandpa's entire arsenal. Maybe it's something you don't want. Sell it, trade it in. DK Mags can help you out there. They can also help you out if you're going to, you're going to leave the country. You get in a divorce, need to get the firearms out of the house somewhere safe. They can store them for you, safe and legal and dry and nothing to worry about. DK Mags can help you out on all accounts. Same deal with Monticello Pawn and Gun, part of the DK Mags family. Not only do they buy and sell firearms, they buy and sell pretty much anything else. Here's a little tip for you. When you go to Monticello Pawn and Gun, go right to the counter, start looking at their pocket knives. Great place to buy pocket knives. Monticello Pawn and Gun, DK Mags on Old 8. Check them out on the web, dkmags.com.
Boy, I just had a sad cartoon bubble.
Oh, no.
I'm getting divorced. I got to go store my guns.
Well, think about it. What are you going to drag them to the hotel room with you?
No. Hey, do you want a good moment in life before we talk to John?
Sure.
Bert, who's now signing his name Ambert Soliloquy. He just
gone off the deep end.
He went with Amherst Willoughby for a while. Now he's Ambert Soliloquy. Earlier today, I was bicycling near Lake of the Isles, and I saw a guy under a tree. He was sitting on a bucket, noodling on a guitar. There was no one around. I got a wild hair, and I stopped right in front of him, mimicked flicking a lighter, and said, "Free bird." He grinned and played about 60 seconds of it, and we both burst out laughing. I rode off without a word. The end. Improved my day, and I hope it did the same for him. Those are the great little moments during a day, aren't they?
Yes.
Like you have a random deal like that, and they work.
Free bird.
Here's John Haidt.
Thanks, Joe. July 1st coming up. You know what that means?
Yeah.
New Minnesota laws.
Okay.
Oh, right.
Into effect
boy.
in the legislature.
That's true.
Oh, boy.
Among the new laws this year, we have the new cannabis tax, a 10% tax.
Stop
which is
right
part
there.
of yes, sir.
When I fetched the papers this morning from outside,
Yes.
they distinctly smelled like weed.
Well,
that's
little morning wake up.
that might be your guy,
Yeah.
Mr. Wake and Bake.
Yeah.
The 10% tax, which is part
But
of
seriously, can you blame him? I mean, he's delivering papers at 1 a.m.
No, it was about 8 a.m.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so never mind.
Yeah, never mind.
The tax is part of Minnesota's new marijuana legalization law. It'll apply to all cannabis products, whether they're derived from hemp or marijuana, once it's legal here in Minnesota. Other stuff, students
I'm
attending.
sorry, John. I really am interrupting you too often. I
Sure, no,
apologize.
that's
Is
fine.
marijuana legal tomorrow? Is it July 1st? Is it tomorrow or August?
I thought it was August.
That's what I thought too.
And you can't sell it, I don't think, for another year, correct?
Yeah, it's a year or two. I'm looking for. I
I
don't know what I
believe
did.
people are using it, however, already.
Well,
Yeah.
and that means growing it too, right?
Yeah.
So you can just start growing it in your living room.
I guess so.
Students attending public
Just
elementary.
like Grandpa Red did on Worcester.
Steve, stay away from those weeds.
Students attending public elementary, middle, and high schools will now be guaranteed a free school breakfast and lunch every day. The new law provides free meals to every public and charter school student in the state, regardless of family income level. A new college tuition assistance program for Minnesota students whose families make less than $80,000 annually becomes law on Saturday. It'll officially start awarding money to students in fall of 2024. It's expected to serve 15,000 to 20,000 students in its first year. Boat registration fees are going up by 56 to 151%, depending on what kind of watercraft you have and how big it is. Legislature imposed new restrictions on when a judge can issue no-knock search warrants. And judges now may only sign off on the warrants if a search cannot be done while the premises are unoccupied and if the occupant poses an immediate threat of death or injury to officers if they were to announce their presence prior to entering. That's a short list of many things that will be.
You shouldn't you shouldn't be forced to display your registration if you have an antique boat. You shouldn't be forced to paint numbers or put stickers on the bow of your boat.
I have many times.
It's painful to do, isn't it? It sucks.
A man is facing charges for allegedly recording men inside bathroom stalls at Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport.
Yep.
After officers found video taken over several months on his phone. Yes. 36-year-old Michael Lamar Maseda Tapia is charged with 11 counts of interfering with privacy by installing or using a surreptitious, thank you, device, all gross misdemeanors. Police first got a report of a man who was taking pics under the bathroom stalls in the men's bathroom below gate E2 at Terminal 1 at about 9:30 in the morning on February 16th.
I'd let him pee on my iPhone just to see where it came from.
Oh, please.
Wow.
Jeez, Matthew.
Man,
wow. Holy cow.
See, there was that editing again.
I love it.
Not even, I wouldn't even say that.
Man reported he went in to use the bathroom. Wow. He saw there were 3 stalls, and the middle one was occupied by someone else. That's the old middle one.
Yeah.
By design.
After going into one of the open stalls, the man saw a cell phone under the stall that appeared to be trying to take a picture or video of him.
Never mind the cell phone.
So he went to use the other stall, and the phone was pointed at him again. The complaint says that the man, quote, found it odd.
Let's do the next story.
Oh, okay, we'll move along.
Yeah.
Wait, did he justify it? Does he quote it at all?
Rookie, you don't have to be so excited about this story.
Police questioned him. He first denied, then admitted to having more than 10 videos of men using the bathroom on his phone that he said he keeps for himself. Police then confiscated the phone and got a warrant to search it.
Who decided it was a good idea to line up 3, 4, 5 toilets and then put dividers in that don't go all the way to the floor?
Right.
Yeah.
I need a sealed, I don't want to even hear somebody else doing this.
A sealed tomb.
Yeah.
Police found 143 videos of men using the employee bathrooms at the airport.
I didn't know we had special bathrooms.
As I said when this came up the other day, there's just some things I just don't understand.
A lot of things going on out there, Joe.
There really is.
From the Star Tribune,
doesn't it, Joe, seem like you just become a lesser of a human being after hearing some of these stories? This is stuff that I was really happy not knowing. Really happy not knowing any of this existed. And now I just feel like I'm just a little less than.
Every day's a gift, Kenny.
That's why we call it the present.
Wow. From the Star Tribune, a new food pantry opened in Houston this week named Feeding Our Future.
Oh, that's a good name.
That, of course, is the same name as the Minnesota nonprofit at the center of the $250,000 fraud scheme that federal prosecutors have said was one of the biggest.
$250 million fraud scheme.
Billion, yeah, you're correct. Did I say million?
Yeah.
Yes, $250 million. One of the largest pandemic-related fraud cases in the country. There is no connection between the Texas Food Pantry and Minnesota's Feeding Our Future or any of the 60 people who have been charged in the case in September. The shared name is a total coincidence, according to Angelica Kaufman, a spokesperson for the Houston Housing Authority, which started that food pantry. The last video store in the Twin Cities is closing up shop. After nearly 4 decades, Video Universe in Robbinsdale shuts its doors today.
A universe of movies.
Well, those were played in the VCR?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, no, they still have DVDs.
Oh, do they?
I mean, DVDs, whatever they are.
Even DVDs are a way of the past.
Oh, a whole wall of them right there.
Yeah, it was so pleasant having DVDs. I loved it.
Owner Scott Pross says streaming services put him out of business. He said, I think it's pretty much clear that streaming is the way it's going. A lot of longtime customers came back this week for one last trip. He said it's been very hard. You see more and more people you've seen throughout the years. A lot of people brought their kids in. They wanted to see the video store one last time. Pross said he plans to sell his DVDs on Amazon and on eBay. We'll take a short break here, and we'll have some more news right after this.
GLers, you know this. It's officially mosquito season, so if you're tired of getting eaten up in your yard, call my friends at Mosquito Shield. Owned and operated by a couple of GLers, it's Ray and Mike, the father and son team that own and operate 2 franchises right here in the Twin Cities, and their territory is all over the place, but 169 and 35W all the way to the St. Croix, north to Forest Lake, and down to Lakeville. Getting rid of mosquitoes and ticks, that's their expertise. They are not like other pest control companies that also spray for bugs. They focus on the mosquitoes and ticks only, and they have that proprietary blend of Mosquito Shield. You cannot buy this on the shelf. It was invented by the founder. It's used exclusively by the company. I tell you what, they're going to take great care of you and your yard. They come out every 10 to 17 days for an application, and they do so until they go dormant around the end of September or October. And they also stand behind their work. If for any reason that you're going to need them in between applications, they will do an additional service call at absolutely no charge. And that's because they want you to choose when it's time to go inside, not the mosquitoes and ticks. So find them online, moshield.com. That's moshield.com, and just put in your zip code, and you're going to find them. Or give Kelsey and Mike a call directly at 612-619-1556. You mentioned GL, and you are going to get $50 off your service.
You cannot stop him. He'll just make a move. Joe Souchere.
Let it all out. These are the things that can blah, blah, blah. Come on.
They sound like they're crying, don't they? I'm talking to you, so come on.
Go on.
Please.
You could do a spot here, Kenny, or what?
Oh, yeah. Moon Motorsports. Moon Motorsports. We all know Moon. Recognized for their amazing selection of all of our favorite off-road machines. They also sell scooters in all sizes, whether it's just for fun around the lake or a different kind of commuting. Maybe you want to drive around the block on your way to work in your basement. Or maybe your college kid wants to, jump around campus. Just get a scooter from Moon. They've got the right scooter for you. Moon carries the best scooter brands, Honda, Yamaha, BMW. A BMW scooter. How cool would that be? You can see the entire scooter selection online, moonmotorsports.com. And for you adventure riders out there, I've got a little offer for you. A free set of side cases with the purchase of a new Triumph Tiger 1200 adventure bike. That's helpful. You're going to need them anyway. Moon carries an excellent selection of all the latest and greatest offerings from Triumph. Actually, truth be told, they carry the latest and greatest of 11 different brands at Moon Motorsports. They're just off 94, 25 minutes west of the Twin Cities, and on the web, moonmotorsports.com.
Thank you, Kenny. I do have more news, including Supreme Court stuff, but first I'm going to skip to this story because I really respected this fellow. We've lost a fine actor. Alan Arkin has died. Oh. And Alan could do a lot of stuff, comedy, drama, whatever you wanted. He received 4 Academy Award nominations, won an Oscar in 2007 for Little Miss Sunshine. He was a member of Chicago's famed Second City comedy troupe originally, and an immediate success in movies with the Cold War spoof, The Russians Are Coming, The Russians Are Coming.
Fantastic in that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. More than 40 years separated his first Oscar nomination for that film from his nomination for playing a conniving Hollywood producer in the Oscar-winning film Argo. He was brilliant, if I may add a side note here, in one of my personal all-time favorite films, 1979's The In-Laws, which also featured a wonderful performance from the late Peter Falk. In recent years, he starred opposite Michael Douglas in a very good Netflix comedy series called The Kaminsky Method, a role that earned him 2 Emmy nominations. He once joked to the Associated Press the beauty of being a character actor was not having to take his clothes off for any role. He appeared in more than 100 TV and feature films. Alan Arkin was 89 years old.
Everybody I know who loves movies has recommended Little Miss Sunshine to me, and I don't think I've seen it.
I have not seen it.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, I really need to watch that one.
But you haven't seen The Russians Are Coming.
No, I
Oh,
haven't
God,
seen
I've
that.
seen that in
Well,
five.
I think I gave it to you.
That's right behind where the West was won. What is it called? The one about plowing? South Bend?
In the
Southwest?
North by Northwest.
North by Northwest.
Yeah.
What a bastard.
Somewhere up north.
You're such a creep.
You really are. I mean, you guys all have seen The In-Laws. Have you seen The In-Laws?
Yes.
Which that's just wonderful.
Yes.
Funny as hell. In that Supreme Court news, now there's a lot of stuff. Joe talked about some already. A sharply divided Supreme Court ruled today the Biden administration overstepped its authority in trying to cancel or reduce student loans for millions of Americans. It was a 6-3 decision. Conservative justices in the majority, killing the $400 billion plan announced by Biden last year. The court held that the administration needs Congress's endorsement before they undertake that costly of a program.
Good.
Majority rejected arguments that a bipartisan 2003 law dealing with student loans provided the authority that the president claimed. The decision Joe talked about a bit already, the Supreme Court striking down affirmative action in college admissions, declaring that race cannot be a factor, and forcing institutions of higher education to look for new ways to achieve different and diverse student bodies. Justice Clarence Thomas, the nation's second black justice, who had long called for the end to affirmative action, wrote that the decision sees the university's admissions policies for what they are: rudderless, race-based preferences designed to ensure a particular racial mix in the entering classes. Justice Sonia Sotomayor, the court's first Latina, wrote in dissent that the decision rolls back decades of precedents and progress. Both Thomas and Sotomayor, the two justices who have acknowledged affirmative action played a role in their admissions to college and law school, took the unusual step of reading summaries of their opinions aloud in the courtroom. The Supreme Court also ruling a Christian graphic artist who wants to design wedding websites can refuse to work with same-sex couples. That was a 6-3 vote for designer Lori Smith, despite a Colorado law that bars discrimination based on sexual orientation, race, gender, and other characteristics. Smith had argued the law violates her free speech rights. Opponents warned that a win for her would allow a range of businesses to discriminate, refusing to serve Black, Jewish, or Muslim customers, interracial or interfaith couples, or immigrants. But Smith and her supporters had said a ruling against her would force artists, from painters, photographers, to writers and musicians, to do work that is against their beliefs.
Ricey?
Yeah.
What?
Let's go here.
All right. You want to take a break?
Do
or
it. No, just do
up?
a story and I'll call him.
Do another one, John.
All right.
Please.
Apple's market cap topped $3 trillion today, as its share climbed to about 1% to a new high, and passed the 190.73 price required to hit the milestone. Apple was the first company to hit a $3 trillion mark back in January, but it failed to close the day at that level. It does have a shot to close there today.
That's a lot of money, John.
$3 trillion.
Yeah.
That's more than I have.
Yeah, me too. That's quite a bit.
A man with materials to make explosives and an active January 6th related warrant out for him was arrested by law enforcement in former President Barack Obama's neighborhood yesterday. Several sources identified the suspect as 37-year-old Taylor Taranto of Seattle, Washington. Secret Service spotted him within blocks of the Obama home. Taranto fled. Secret Service chased him. He was running toward the Obama home, but was apprehended before he got there. There were multiple weapons and materials to make explosive devices in his van. U.S. officials were concerned because he had made threats during recent live streams on social media against a public figure. Taranto has also been charged with being a fugitive from justice, according to the Metropolitan Police Department.
Thank you. Are we going to hear the song or just go right to Patrick?
I don't know where Reavers has it.
Okay, let's talk to Patrick, because I have a big announcement for him that will be of interest to everyone. Patrick?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Guess who is re-entered our lives?
Boy, I can't. The Walker Pilot Independent.
You're very close. You're in the right era, and you're on the right track.
Okay. What's that?
Lance Nuance.
Oh,
Lance!
Nuance.
Yes.
Lance Nuance. Almost the original goofball, wasn't he?
Yeah, and I've invited Lance to join us on a Monday night sports talk sometime in July, sometime this coming month.
Yes. Well, and there are rumors that we might have a 40th anniversary thing in September. I don't know if you heard those rumors.
I've heard the rumor. And Lance, remember we once even did a show at his house.
At his house.
Right. And if I remember right, you didn't tell listeners where it was at.
Right. And they were trying to zero in.
There was a dead giveaway. It was airplane
noise.
Yeah. And that's how I found you guys on bicycle. Yeah.
I think
on bicycle.
A couple of guys finally, I think a couple of guys did somehow find
CR.
it. But,
CR triangulated the signal, the late
Your
great
garbage
CR.
can lid.
Yes.
Kenny, that wasn't as bad as the day we closed the front window at the State Fair. If you didn't want to look, and you had to pay 50 cents to come up through the side window. What PR guys we were.
That's one of my greatest Royce stories. I don't know if I should tell it, but a relative of Royce's walks up to the window, knocks on the window, and goes, "Hey!" And Royce goes, "Oh, bleepity bleep. Now I got to go talk to this bleeper." And he says to me as he's going out the back door, he goes, "Call me back in here in 30 seconds. So Royce opens the back door, starts talking to him. 30 seconds later, "Royce, come on, we need you."
That wasn't my brother, was it?
No. I remember this.
It was him.
I remember this. It was somebody from Fulda.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Where I just assume you're all related if you're from Fulda.
Pat, I learned two things when the Twins were in Atlanta. I learned two things.
What?
One, Twins aren't very good. And
Yes.
two, Atlanta really draws well.
Well, they built the new ballpark out in suburbia. There's a town basically built around it of bars and entertainment and some office park. And it's you don't have to. I mean, if you're on the other side of town, you're probably smart enough to leave at 2 o'clock before the freeway gets clogged up, and you can go out there and drink and wait for the game. And if you live out there, it's you don't have to go downtown and fight the worst traffic in America. So they are packing them in. But you know what? Helps to be damn good, too.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
They've been for about 5 years now. They have really got a hell of a team. Yes, when they play the Twins 3 games, they should win 3.
I guess.
But the disgusting manner in which the Twins lost caused the usual calm Rocco to flip his lid on Wednesday afternoon. And you know what the front office, the see no evil, hear no evil boys did? Didn't call it, didn't change a damn thing. To me, that was a plea to get him some new bodies in there, and it went unheard.
Mm-hmm.
We still think there's a market for Kepler and Joey Gallo.
It's tough, man. They're not hitting, and now they got to face Baltimore, which is having as good a year as Atlanta.
Yeah, they are. They aren't drawn yet, though. The Baltimore people are still very skeptical, but and I don't think the Twins will pack them in. God, it's just bad. They strike out. They're going to set the world record for strikeouts by 100. Nobody's ever reached 1,600. These guys are going to reach 1,700. Remember when everybody used to call them the Twinkies when they weren't good? They were the Twinkies.
Right.
Well, now I'm calling them the Twinks, but the K is capitalized. You know, you got to have the capital K.
Sure, the strikeout mark.
It's a strikeout mark. They're the Twinks. God, they're terrible. Unbelievable. You pretty excited about your Wild getting a center who scored 5 goals at Wisconsin last year?
No.
They must want somebody who can win a face-off 4 or 5 years from now. That would be a change.
I watched some of the NHL draft, and all I know is every kid drafted has got the same hairdo.
Yes, they do. They do that. And I don't like that hair. I don't like that hair.
They got the flow. They got the flow.
You know what I really hate is every newspaper, bleeping TV station, all these jackasses have to do the hair story at the state tournament every year.
Yeah.
What is wrong? It's like, it's okay. You've done that 9 years in a row. I was sleeping at our guys in here about doing it, and they said, it gets a lot of hits. Well, have some pride. Don't just So what? So you get an extra 10,000 hits. You make yourself look like idiots doing it year after year after year.
Yeah, well, I did hear one general manager thank Bill Guerin for keeping an open bar tab at some bar in Nashville. I don't know who that was.
Is that right? Well, Bill looks like a guy that would have a cocktail at 2 a.m. and talk a little hockey with people.
Royce, you had a great piece earlier this week in the Strib about how the Wild can go out there every single night and take a giant S on the ice, and people will still be more than happy to buy tickets and show up and watch that garbage. As far as I'm concerned, you weren't mean enough, but I really appreciated.
I didn't intend to be mean. I am paying tribute to their loyalty. It's astounding. It's incredible. I mean, they got 2 years. I'd forgotten that 2 years ago they had 113 points and then got taken out by the mediocre Blues.
Yep.
And they get the 98% renewal, and this year they get taken out by Dallas. The last 3 and 95% renewal on season tickets.
We are the state of losing hockey, is what we are.
Well, that's true of every sport we have.
Yeah.
You know what? But people don't get as... I think hockey is a good game because, your bad games, you get beat 3-1, right? And when the Timberwolves get beat bad, it's 125 to 86. And in baseball, it's 14 strikeouts and 2 hits, You get beat 4-1. And they're more embarrassing than... hockey losses aren't as embarrassing as the other sports, just because of the nature of the game, I think.
Yeah, but they are if you watch them. I mean, if you don't watch the game and you see the score and it's like, that's not so bad. But if you sit through 3 periods and the OT and then you realize just how bad these guys suck, it's pretty painful. It hurts.
I think that's, I wouldn't say suck. 2 years ago they were good. But
I think it might be the toughest job in sports to put together a team that can grind it all the way to the cup. That is a delicate balance of people.
Yeah. And, hey, let's face it, it was Las Vegas's turn to win a Stanley.
That's right.
Yes. Like you said, the drought.
The long-suffering Golden Knights.
Down there at the bottom. Hell, they've only won like 50 playoff games in their 6 years. They deserve more. We got 22 now after 20-some years. They only have 50 or so. What the hell? They deserved it, too. There's loyal Las Vegas fans who, just keep going out there to watch their team.
Hey, you got big plans for the 4th?
Not a damn thing.
Yeah.
My wife doesn't like fireworks, so I can't get her to do that. We have no real friends.
You sound like a country music song. You sound
all I got is this beer.
Nobody wants to use the pool anymore. So.
Wow.
We might get out there in our little floaties and float around for a half hour.
I would pay to see that.
I want to see that. That'd be great. Yeah. Well, I won't see you. I won't see you Monday. We're taking all next week off.
God, we gotta. We've been a little. We're gonna make up when we have them. They're really outstanding.
That's absolutely correct.
These summer hours, for God's sake.
Yeah.
These are the ultimate summer hours. These are even better than. I still think that is your greatest scam ever.
Yep.
2 hours was too much radio.
That's too much radio,
That's
man.
way
We need
too
summer
much.
hours.
An hour and a half.
Yeah.
Royce, I still want you to have the pool party where you only invite guys that are C cup or bigger. So we don't have to be embarrassed in front of good-looking people. So, Such, you're out.
Yeah.
How about these jackasses that want to tell us that Diet Coke has something bad in it now? Some World Health Organization. Go bleep yourself.
I would argue that it saved your life.
It did. I got a little bit of the COVID, and I just started pounding that Diet Coke, and I went right away.
Well, I'll talk to you at some point in the future.
All right. Next week, maybe. Next Friday. See ya.
No, not next Friday. We're going all next week.
He's got a tea time. We got to go, Royce.
Yeah.
See ya.
Okay.
All right, goodbye. Thank you.
Love that. All right, you want to take a break?
Yeah.
Okay, then let's do it.
That's how that works.
That's what the look was.
This is Ricey, and you've heard me discuss my relationship with Josh Arnold for some time. The reason I recommend that you give Josh a call is simple: trust and results. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions. As has been said through all of our relationship, past results do not guarantee future returns, and while that is true, Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. You can understand that Josh will make sure you are not paying more in fees than you are seeing in returns. Yep, that is more common than you would like to think in the investment business. Do yourself a favor and have a booking with Josh for the 48-minute free evaluation. This is a no-obligation meeting. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. You will be glad you did, and don't forget to ask him why it is 48 minutes.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Patrick Royce is a paid endorser.
It's the rookie here, and 'tis the well, it's not really the season. The season is year-round with Minnesota Masonic Charities. They're online at mnmasoniccharities.org. And I really wish you would visit their website. I've talked to you about some of their scholarships. They got all sorts of events going on, and just the fact that they are getting the truth of what they do out to the public. And what they do is they help people. They help people that are young, they help people that are old, and they help people that are needy. The scholarships are fantastic. There's way too many to list here in this 1-minute ad I've got here for you. And go to their website, mnmasoniccharities.org. That's mnmasoniccharities.org. Learn about how compassionate they are, how committed they are, and how capable they are. Yes, in 2006, a bunch of these guys all came together and said, we really have something going here that is good. Well, they took what's good and they made it great, and that's why they want this information about what they do, who they help, and where you can get information. It's a wonderful program. It's a wonderful outfit, and it's great that they're right here in Minnesota. Minnesota Masonic Charities are helping so many people, and you can learn more about this great, great partnership at mnmasoniccharities.org. Let them know you heard it on the Garage Logic podcast.
Okay, this is weird, Joe.
If you're getting good and tired like I did of the big banks, well, then I'm here to let you know about North American Banking Company. It's Reavers, by the way, here in the GL Podcast Studios. I made the switch. You should, too. North American Banking Company offers the same online and mobile banking options as the other banks, but with the unparalleled service of a community bank. And they're also locally owned and operated, which means loan decisions are made right here in the Twin Cities, not shipped out of state. And this helps business owners solve problems and expand their business with confidence. North American Banking Company deals with numbers every day, but you are never one of them. And their experienced bankers are ready to help business owners navigate all of the challenges and obstacles that come with owning a business. When North American Banking Company first opened back in 1998, they made a promise to deliver a better banking experience for their customers, where you know your banker and they know you. While a lot has changed since 1998, this commitment to being a true community bank in the Twin Cities, well, that has not. So here's the deal. Go online. North American Banking Company's website is nabankco.com. nabankco.com. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Hi, kids, moms, and dads. This is Joe Souchere, the old fireworks commissioner of Garage Logic. You know, I have great memories of the 4th of July, the cookouts, the warm, sunny days at the beach, and yeah, fireworks, the firecrackers. Here's a few tips. Kids, use a cigarette to light the firecrackers. It's easier. The wind doesn't get it. And remember this, too, kids. Never push anybody in the lake who has a pocket full of firecrackers, because that just ruins them. These are just some of the things you have to remember on the 4th of July. Kids, moms, and dads, have a great time. This is the old fireworks commissioner, Joe Souchere. And the little kids, let them play with the sparklers, but then watch where you walk, because, oh, man, does that ever hurt.
Finally, thank God today is Friday. TGTI Friday. It's the
the best scramble of the year?
Should be.
It's got to be.
Hail the Flashlight King. I had a little downtime after listening to the show, and I decided I would go ahead and ask Chat GPT to translate the Apostles' Creed into the Garage Logic Creed. This is from Noah. If this is real, and I emailed Noah and said, is this real? Did you really ask Chat GPT to do this? We got a note from Mike Schoonover, who was listening to yesterday's show.
Is this our Noah?
I believe so.
Are you going to read the creed? Because I think I have this goes against everything I stand for. If there is in fact a GL creed, it should be written by you or you and the staff, not artificial bleeping intelligence.
Well, I think Joe's point is this thing did this.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to abide by it.
Have you heard this? This is frightening.
So it's not something we're going to follow. It's just something.
No, you might want to. Although it's
Joe,
artificial.
You're just giving up then.
But want to hear it or don't you?
Yeah, we've got to hear it now.
I believe in the garage, the haven of knowledge, where the Flashlight King reigns as the mayor of logic. The almighty creator of common sense, he brought forth the wisdom from the airwaves, and in garage logic I place my trust. I believe in the power of gumption, the relentless pursuit of truth and reason, the triumph of intellect over ignorance through witty banter and insightful discourse. Garage logic enlightens and empowers. I believe in the fellowship of GLers, the devoted listeners who gather around the airwaves, bound by a shared quest for enlightenment. We tune in together, seeking enlightenment using the spirit of garage logic. I believe in the resilience of Minnesota, a land of frigid winters and tenacious spirits where garage logic thrives amidst the snow. Through the wisdom of Souchere and his crew, Minnesota embraces the way of garage logic. I believe in the power of laughter, the joyous camaraderie that permeates the show. Easing burdens and warming hearts, Garage Logic brings mirth and delight, elevating our spirits with every episode. I believe in the promise of goodness, the commitment to integrity and honor, the pursuit of a better Garage Logic world. As GLers, we strive to make a difference, impacting lives through knowledge and kindness. This is the Garage Logic Creed, the embodiment of wisdom and camaraderie. United in the pursuit of enlightened discourse, may the spirit of Garage Logic guide us always as we navigate the tapestry of life. And then he concludes, if the show ever needs a Chat GPT guy, I got you. Just put out the bat signal.
Huh.
What the hell?
That's too much for me. I can't sign up for all of that crap.
Jesus, God in heaven.
Huh? I mean,
huh?
It's a lot.
I don't think we can't. No, it's good, but it's not good. It's too much.
It's too frightening.
I can't.
We can't live up to this.
No, under any. I think GL is different to everybody. For me, it's welcome to Garage Logic. Have a beer. Don't cost nothing.
Yeah.
That's my creed.
I hope Noah responds to my email. I wanted to know, is this you or did Chat GPT really do this? And maybe Chat GPT, which Schoonover alluded to in a message to us, might be the Antichrist, might be the beast. When you can have the key to Schoonover yesterday is when he heard that the woman who wrote the Sparkle Creed, it translated what's the word I'm trying to say? She got it off her telephone.
Right. Right.
What the hell's going on here?
And here's the deal, and here's why you might be right about this being the Antichrist. I'm at a family gathering yesterday.
This is nice, though. This doesn't sound Antichrist.
Listen. Family gathering yesterday. Everybody from the far, far right to the far, far left, we all agree the phone is evil. And we all agree we can't live without it. Can't live your life without a phone at this point. Yeah. And all sides agree it's evil.
Here's another guy who said he plugged Garage Logic into a Google search, and it came up with we were on KFAN and WCCO. So,
now that's believable.
That didn't work out too well. Yeah. What do you got, John?
Well, I wrote a little song because Rook said Royce's thing should be a country song. So
Yeah.
I'll hurry because I know you're in a hurry. So.
Yeah.
My wife hates the fireworks, and we ain't got no friends. I guess we'll just sit home till the fireworks end. We sleep when the boom stops. The air smells from the smoky storm. Good night, my dearest. I'll see you in the morning. There you go. I was going to do it slower, but I know you're in a hurry.
We're out there in our floaties.
Only Royce could make the 4th of July the most depressing day of the year.
Oh, you don't have any friends.
Exactly. I don't have any friends. My wife hates the fire.
Nobody goes to the pool anymore.
Terrible.
Only because they come to us all the way from Fernandina, Florida, from the Traveling Lyman's. It was on this day.
Well, this is the last day of June, the 30th.
In 1888.
What do you got?
Alexander McDougall launched the first whaleback freighter onto Lake Superior.
Wow.
And I'm going to close with that one because I want to close on a positive note.
Oh, okay.
For the 4th of July. So you've got a whaleback freighter was launched on this day in Lake Superior.
What are you guys doing this weekend?
Nothing. I got no friends.
Minding my own business.
Love that. Love that.
Thank you, GLers. Have a wonderful 4th. Fly your flags, all that good stuff.
And remember to wait 45 minutes after
you can go swimming
after
right away,
eating,
kids.
to go swimming. All right, folks. Quick reminder. If you're a town council member, we are going to take over Target Field on the 21st of July. That's a Friday night. All you have to do is go to garagelogic.com and get your free tickets reserved there if you're a member already. If you're not a member already, you can sign up at garagelogic.com, and $10 a month or $100 a year, you can be a member, and you can be a really big-time insider. If you're looking for another podcast over the 4th of July weekend, well, then I want you to check out PodMN on your smartphone. PodMN on your smartphone. Then swing on over to YouTube and subscribe on the Garage Logic YouTube page. Just that simple. Happy Scramble. Happy 4th of July. I will see you next time.
Will you guys help Rook write the description?
Jesus, you can't you wait?
No.